So I think security as an area within DevOps is becoming increasingly critical because we're seeing almost every organisation out there either already embracing and adopting DevOps or certainly going through that journey at the moment. And organisations are using DevOps as a way of delivering applications and services at a much greater rate than with many of their competitors. And if you do not embrace DevOps, there's a risk that you will genuinely be left behind. The problem and the need for security really comes when you look at all of the tools that are responsible for actually automating these processes. So if you think now, every task that was previously performed by a human user as an interactive process, it's starting to be performed by robots and it's being automated. So these robots are essentially your privileged users of 5 years ago. And at the moment, what we tend to see in the DevOps space is that it's not being afforded the same level of security and priority, both in terms of things like segregation of duty, in terms of the audit that you provide against these robots, compared to the same controls you put in place for the human interactive users so long ago. And I think what we've already seen is actually in a number of cases where organisations aren't putting these controls in place, you end up with very powerful keys being misplaced into the public domain. We've seen examples, documented breaches where API keys that have very powerful access to an organisation's infrastructure is actually being mistakenly uploaded to public repositories. And ultimately it means that for an attacker, there isn't really any necessary technical skill that they require to be able to gain the keys to your kingdom and to be able to access all of the organisation's sensitive data. Yeah, so when you want to apply security to DevOps without losing the benefits, I think the important considerations are that the whole purpose of DevOps is really that you have to be able to deliver applications at velocity. And so if there are any processes that you introduce that will slow down the entire sort of continuous integration and continuous delivery pipeline, it's going to have an effect on the business and the speed that those applications are delivered. So really what you have to do is, just as DevOps collaborates between development teams and operations teams, you have to collaborate with the security teams as well. So for the security teams, it's necessary to provide a service that your developers and your operations teams can consume, but that doesn't slow down any of those processes and workflows. So whether it's a developer themselves creating source code, creating applications that need access to secrets, or whether it's one of these automated robots and processes, there has to be a way for those to programmatically retrieve credentials throughout any of the stages of the pipeline without any human intervention. So security teams must be able to provide the templates, they must be able to control who should be able to access which secrets and what should be able to access which secrets. But ultimately, there has to be a service that's easy to use for your user community, or there will always be resistance. And if there's resistance, I think organizations will struggle to actually adopt security into their DevOps pipelines. So Conjur is a security service that will assist in managing secrets that are used throughout that DevOps pipeline. So whether it's trying to secure the CI/CD tools, the continuous integration and continuous delivery and deployment tools, allowing them to programmatically retrieve secrets whilst providing segregation of duty, audit, encryption, and all those sort of traditional role-based access controls and best practices that organizations already have in place, or whether it's actually about establishing machine identities in an incredibly dynamic environment. I think one of the main things about DevOps is the dynamism that we see with all of the infrastructure that's being spun up, and that presents a very unique challenge. We can no longer rely on humans to upload information about the infrastructure that's being built to determine what can authenticate and what can access secrets. It has to be an automated process, so Conjur provides a way to dynamically enroll new machines and to automatically associate the relevant permissions around the secrets that can be accessed. So there is the CI/CD tools themselves, there is the application source code and the ability to retrieve secrets from Conjur without making changes to the code itself, but also the ability to dynamically enroll servers and containers in this new ephemeral environment that we're seeing.